สวัสดีครับคุณผู้ชมครับพบกับผมโสรัตน์สินธุยะนะครับและรายการ K-Market ตลาดเกษตรดาวเทียมนะครับวันนี้ K-Market ตลาดเกษตรดาวเทียมเราอยู่กันที่บริษัทคณะประเทศไทยจำกัดอำเภอกาญจนดิตจังหวัดสุราษฎร์ธานีนะครับบริษัทคณะประเทศไทยเป็นบริษัทที่ผลิตวัสดุปลูกที่มีคุณภาพและเป็นวัสดุปลูกที่เป็นมิตรต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมและเป็นหนึ่งในบริษัทที่จะนำเอาผลิตภัณฑ์เข้าไปร่วมแสดงในงานฮอร์ติเอเชีย 2012 หรืองานแสดงเทคโนโลยีและนวัตกรรมด้านพืชพันธุ์ผักผลไม้ดอกไม้และกล้วยไม้แห่งภูมิภาคเอเชียด้วยวันนี้K-Marketตลาดเกษตรดาวเทียมครับเราได้รับเกียรติจากผู้บริหารระดับสูงของบริษัทคณะประเทศไทยจำกัดนะครับนั่นก็คือมิสเตอร์ทีโอดอรัสเชฟเฟอร์ที่ปรึกษานะครับแล้วก็กรรมการบริหารบริษัทคณะประเทศไทยจำกัดคุณรัตชาเดชานุภาพที่ให้เกียรติกับทางรายการมาร่วมพูดคุยแล้วก็ให้รายละเอียดเกี่ยวกับผลิตภัณฑ์ของบริษัทคณะประเทศไทยกันเราไปร่วมพูดคุยกับท่านทั้งสองคนกันเลยครับคุณผู้ชมครับขณะนี้เราอยู่กันในฝ่ายโรงงานผลิตของบริษัทคณะประเทศไทยจำกัดนะครับแล้วก็เราได้รับเกียรตินะครับจากที่ปรึกษาของบริษัทคณะประเทศไทยจำกัดมาร่วมพูดคุยนะครับแล้วก็ให้ข้อมูลถึงที่มาที่ไปเดี๋ยวก่อนอื่นต้องกล่าวสวัสดีท่านก่อนนะครับสวัสดีครับ First of all, I would like to say thank you that you joined us and give us a great honor to be here for today.
Thank you very much.
First of all, for the first question, I would like to know what is your company's background?
The company background is Van der Knaap is a family-based business. So at the moment the owners are two brothers.
Yep.
And from the history it was formed in 1980 together with the father and the oldest son.
Yep.
In 1987, when the father stepped down, then the second son joined into the company as well. I joined the company myself in 1991, and the first really that we going into the peat business was 1994, and then also right at the start we started dealing in cocoa peat as well. But asking about the history of the company, I think it's much more interesting if you ask about the history of cocoa peat.
Yeah. It's because when I've heard that when you come to join in this business or come to join in the company, so it means that you're interested in the horticulture.
Yes, I was grower myself. I started my own company in 1976. I sold the company again in 1998. And in the meantime I was grower, but from 82 on I was also consultant to other growers. And within the consultancy I became also partner in Van der Knaap.
So it means that why you have the same vision?
We have the same vision. Of course, when you are a consultant and you consult a company, then at least then you should cope with the vision of the entrepreneur, and from there on see if you can make the company bigger and stronger. And that's what we do. That's what I do at Van der Knaap.
So when we are talking about the vision, what is your company vision?
Well, the vision of the company is that we are willing to support growers in all means. The only restriction we make is we come to the start of the crop. So if it's rooting or sowing soil, if it's a pluck or whatever, everything is possible at Van der Knaap as long as it's organic. If it's as soon as it's going into unorganic plucks or additives that are not environmental friendly, then we stop. Then we said, okay, this is not our business. Then we don't handle it. So for organic substrates and also environmental friendly plugs or paper pots or whatever, Van der Knaap is the company to call.
But when we are talking with the organic substrate or something, but the soil but can be to do for the organic. That's why you use for the cocoa peat, isn't it?
Right. There is a big difference between Europe, United States, and Asia, for example. At the moment, even in Holland, it's more or less forbidden to grow in the soil, because that is polluting the water environment deep down, and from there on we have to recycle our water, and then growing into a substrate is a necessity. It's not a possibility, it's a necessity. So every water you give, you've got to recycle, and from there on the substrate is needed. What you see in Holland, in a way, is two different substrates who are mainly used. Yeah, in flowers and vegetables, that's rock wool or cocoa peat. That is in a way the choice the grower has. Rock wool is already there for 25 years, and cocoa peat is a much younger substrate, and the learning process also started later.
So that's why in your country, because of we know that in Netherlands you didn't have the coconut.
No,
you
no,
didn't
no.
have the cocoa peat, but that's why you're interested in cocoa peat. And how do you find the cocoa peat to be the cocoa substrate?
Okay. It's a long story, but I will try to tell it from the beginning.
Yes.
I was once visiting Sri Lanka, just on the purpose of looking for contracts on growing plants.
Right.
And then we run into a factory. It made out of the coir a compressed block. And that compressed block made it possible to export. Before that, I saw already a lot of people in Asia using cocoa peat as a growing media. And from there on we started I imported the first 5 blocks in my luggage just to take home. And from there I got interest from a peat company that was going to explore it. At the same time, there was another company who was doing the same. That was more or less a trading and a forwarding company who did the same, and also introduced it into the rose growing. And I did the introduction myself, especially to the pot plant industry, so ornamental pot plant industry.
So it means that the Sri Lanka is the first place that you start with the cocoa substrate, right?
Yes. So the blocks I found over there were not really meant to be a substrate, but they were meant to be a replacement for oil or for coal and to be burnt on ships. So the whole process was there, and it was compressed. It was very hard compressed, but still, if you put it back into the water, it re-establishes into a real substrate, and that makes it interesting for exports. And that's in a way how it all started. So in a way, it's not invented for horticulture, but later on it made it possible. And the growers in East Asia used cocoa peat already a much longer time. So I saw that it was possible to grow on it, because I saw the growers do it here.
Okay, back to the history again. When you say that when you take some kind of the material from Sri Lanka and you take back to the Netherlands, how do you convince the partner in the Netherlands to invest and to improve with the cocoa substrate?
I was talking at that time to a peat company, and they were looking for replacements for peat, because peat is a mined thing which is very much depending on rain and on climate. And it's harvested in the northern part of Europe, and the climate is not very reliable. So sometimes there is a lot and sometimes there is not enough. And that was just in one of the years that there was not enough. So everybody was looking to all kind of other alternatives for peat. And that's when cocoa peat came in.
So it means that this is your cooperate between Netherlands and Sri Lanka, right?
Yeah.
And how's about Thailand?
Well, that came much later. First of all, we think that Thailand is the gateway to East Asia. So if you want to do something on a horticultural base, then I think Thailand is the basis to come. We see here that at the moment the main reason is why we came here is that we see a difference coming in the food supply in Thailand. So what was always sold in the streets at the moment also is sold in supermarkets. And the supermarket has got different requests to quality and to tracking and tracing on the product than the traditional way of buying your food on the market. And from there on, we believe that substrate growing is also one of the things to come in Thailand. And that's why we said that this operation here in Thailand was a good thing for two reasons. Gateway to the rest of East Asia, and also the local market in Thailand that will rapidly move into a substrate growing, for our opinion.
So this is the reasons that you come here to operate with the cocoa peat in here in Thailand.
Yes, that's correct.
So how do your cocoa substrate be environmental friendly?
Well,
Can you explain it?
yes, of course I can. The coconut husk is in a way a renewable source every year. So the coconuts are grown anyway, and then especially the coconut water and the copra is used, and the inner shell is most of the time used as well. And then the outer shell is all used for fiber or just the waste. But just the waste, I think that's now good, and from there on we process it into a substrate that can be used for growing again and is just environmental friendly. Just because it's renewable, there is not really any damage to the climate whatsoever. So, and it's close by. So even when you produce for the Thai market, if you have a facility in Thailand, it's close, so you save cost on transport. Yeah, and well, it was just a choice of being in Thailand.
So it means that for your product it's different from the other, right?
No, if in a way the way we have our machines and the way we process the coconuts, then you see that the outcome as well in India, Sri Lanka, Dominican Republic of Thailand, the outcome of our products is all the same. So just by grading, we make it possible that all the cocoa peat we sell, and we use the same names all over the world, that people can also expect to have the same thing all the time. And that's what we are special in. And so it's not one time it's like this, and if you get it from another factory, it's something else. No, it always is the same.
So it means that you try to tell to the people that it's different because of your process, right?
Yeah, right.
Process and the machine and the production too.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I need to know one thing, that the first time when you operation here in Thailand, it means that you will import for the machinery from Netherlands.
No. The machines we've got in Sri Lanka, we've got a special factory where we make all our own machines for all the factories in the world. So we design our own machines, and from there on they are also coming from Sri Lanka here to Thailand.
Is this long time that to develop for the machine until they can produce wool for the cocoa
no,
substrate?
it's not really a long time, because it's more or less series production. We know what we want, so it takes a few weeks to build a line. It's not a matter of a month.
Okay, that's one thing when we are talking about your products. First, you say that for cocoa husk, you will be produced for many kinds of your products. Can you tell what the difference from the material in local material? Because you know that for the farmer, when they need to use for the cocoa substrate, okay, they think that okay, when I'm open with the cocoa already and we use the cocoa husk, that's why you try to present that you are different from the general.
If you look to our customers, so the growers, then they've got a watering system, and the watering system, that's a drip irrigation or an overhead draining system, and from there on it's very important that every plant gets the same amount of water. So not one should be dry and one should be overwatered. So you should organize that in a leveled way. by just grading the particles in a way that the air content and the substrate are always the same. And then you also know that if from one bag to the other bag, or from one bucket to the other bucket, from one pot to the other pot, the water content is always the same. And from that point it makes growing much easier, yeah, and a much better result for the grower than when smaller and bigger particles are mixed and you don't know what you're doing. So we make crops predictable with our substrate.
So it means that you would like to say that this is the new technology or new innovative, right, to be used in the plantation or for the horticulture, right?
I think so, yes. And then especially when you see that water is getting more and more scarce, you should take as little water as possible to get your crop growing. And also, if you not really have to look after your water, then still your fertilizer is costing money. So to have your most costly...
it means that save cost too, right?
Of course, of course. So it's the meaning of using our coco-peat is to save cost on water and on fertilizer,
right.
and have a better yield and a predictable yield, yeah, just over the months you're growing.
Yeah, okay. And I've heard that for your company, Knaap Thailand will be joined in the Horti Asia.
Yes,
What
of course.
Yeah, okay. What do you show in this exhibition?
In this exhibition, we come as a total group, so also our salespeople from over the world will be here. So there will be the one who's responsible for Japan and China, but also the one who's responsible for the US and Canada, for example. So both will be here. Of course, the Thai sales representative will be there as well. But we expect an international show, and I think that will be the face of Van der Knaap in Asia. And I think we can do that by Horti Asia, by exposing ourselves in a way that we said, okay, Knaap is here and we are here to stay. And it's the same thing I hope from Horti Asia.
So it means that when you come to join with the Horti Asia, you expect with the marketing too, right?
Of course, of course. We want to meet in those shows. We want to meet our customers, but also we want to meet our future customers, so they can see what we do, and they can feel it, and we can talk to them on how to handle our product and to help the grower to grow in his own situation.
Okay, when we are talking about the marketing, how is your marketing under the name of Knaap?
Well, I think that it's a question you should ask to the CEO.
Okay. Okay. And the event that will be held on the 9th to 11th in May.
Yep.
You will be take for all of your products here to show in the Horti Asia.
All the products we produce here in Knaap Thailand will be shown over there, but also the specialties we produce in Sri Lanka that also will be brought in to show to the customer what is possible, what he can order, what he might order, and what are the possibilities on growing on cocoa peat.
So it means that for cocoa peat, you will be show them in the Horti Asia. It will be the good point that will be safeguard for the local farmer too, and for the entrepreneur too, to invest with the agriculture or horticulture. Okay, for the last question, I would like to know, when you be here in Thailand and you invest with the environmental friendly, you would like to say something to the audience, to the local farmer, to the entrepreneur that they do with the agricultural business, to keep with the environmental friendly?
Yeah, I think that for the future it's very important that we learn to grow in a way to save the environment around us. It's not a matter that we want to do that. I think it's an obligation to do it. So you have to grow in a way, and you've got to feed the people around you in a way that is natural and that you don't leave any pollution left for the generations beyond us. And I think that cocoa peat is one of those solutions that might help to achieve that.
And don't forget to use the product of Knaap Thailand right
Of course.
โอเคครับนั่นก็เป็นบทสัมภาษณ์นะครับที่ได้สัมภาษณ์มิสเตอร์เทโอไปนะครับว่าประวัติความเป็นมาเริ่มต้นบริษัทKnaapทำเกี่ยวกับอะไรนะครับแล้วก็ผลิตภัณฑ์ที่เราเห็นนั้นมีความแตกต่างกันอย่างไรแล้วก็สิ่งที่คุณผู้ชมจะได้เห็นนะครับในงานฮอร์ติเอเชีย 2012 ที่บริษัทKnaapประเทศไทยจำกัดจะได้เข้าไปร่วมแสดงให้เห็นถึงเทคโนโลยีและก็นวัตกรรมด้านการทำการเกษตรและอย่างยิ่งนั่นก็คือด้านพืชพันธุ์ผักผลไม้ดอกไม้และกล้วยไม้และถือว่าท่านส่งทิ้งท้ายได้ดีมากๆเลยทีเดียวที่บอกว่าการเลือกวัสดุที่ใช้เป็นประโยชน์ต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมนั่นก็คือสิ่งที่ผู้ที่เป็นเกษตรกรหรือว่าผู้ที่ประกอบการด้านการเกษตรน่าจะคำนึงถึงมากกว่านั่นก็คือในเรื่องของการใช้วัสดุทุกอย่างไม่ว่าจะเป็นทั้งในเรื่องราวของน้ำในเรื่องราวของปุ๋ยหรือการเซฟต้นทุนเซฟคอสต่างๆเพื่อที่จะให้ผลผลิตนั้นออกมาได้คุ้มค่าแล้วก็เป็นประโยชน์ต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมมากที่สุดนะครับเดี๋ยวช่วงหน้าเราจะพาคุณผู้ชมนะครับไปเยี่ยมชมโรงงานพร้อมทั้งไปดูผลิตภัณฑ์ของKnaapประเทศไทยนะครับว่ามีผลิตภัณฑ์อะไรบ้างแล้วก็เหมาะกับเกษตรกรที่ทำการเพาะปลูกอย่างไรเดี๋ยวสักครู่กลับมาติดตามกันครับ